Pop metal.
Welcome back. This hospital show is hot.
They love.
We got him back.
I'm back.
I'm straight.
We're doing
Good thing we only live a
Supergroups.
block away.
Supergroups said love pushed this and didn't even bring his notes. He had
Yeah, left them at home. I had some notes wrote and I left mine at home, but it's too far to drive to come back.
But you got physical
But I got
evidence.
I just had stuff wrote down. I was going to talk, or just like basically the band members and stuff, make it easier to read.
So when this was mentioned, Love said, all ops will go with Damn Yankees, Mr. Big, and that was where my thought was. Damn Yankees were the first band I thought of.
The three I actually have is Audio Slave, Down, and Velvet Revolver.
That's ones that you thought he would pick?
Yeah, and then I think you'd say about the Damn Yankees or Mr. Big.
Yeah, I said Mr. Big, but I meant Damn Yankees. I don't know why I said Mr. Big.
So I was like, well, I'm gonna throw some stuff out here.
Curveballs.
I'm gonna throw
We
some
like that.
stuff out here to introduce new stuff that people haven't thought about and that they haven't thought about.
Apparently.
Actually, everything I've got, when I looked at, all intertwines too. It's all supergroups are all tangled in together.
Okay.
I'll let y'all see how it all folds out, but that's kind of where when I picked, we did 3 supergroups, and now I picked all mine, and they just started having to intertwine together, but I split.
Accidentally on purpose.
I wrote a pile of them down, and I have a couple of parentheses that I like, but I like all of these almost.
Well, and then for me, I mean, I was like, oh, I forgot about this band, and I was like, oh, what about this band? And I was like, well, if we're doing our favorite ones, I was like, well, and then we were texting back and forth, and I told, well, both of you at the same time that I figured there was at least one that we would all have,
which would be Down.
He threw it away. He threw that one away.
I decided.
But that's all right. It's all
He's
good.
doing the little Emma line. He's doing the
Yeah.
twist.
Well, I mean, the reason why I went like I was is to push some different stuff in here, and how it was kind of cool how they all interlocked and intertwined. It made for a good show.
Yeah.
And I thought of maybe some bands that people have forgotten about also, and that's why I wrote them down.
Did you had put something on your Facebook page? Did you write that stuff down?
Yeah, well, I can
Okay.
pull that up. Do you want me to just read that? One
Wait,
of them.
let's save that for the end. Let's save that for the end, and then we'll
we
talk
did-
about
and,
that.
Yeah, we did go on to Facebook, and to
On Facebook.
have people mention their favorite supergroups.
Yeah.
What kind of got this all started was this Kill or Be Killed, because they've been on the Devil's Dozen for the last couple weeks. And it kind of got me thinking about, doing a super group. So that's kind of what kind of got this whole thing started.
Kill or be killed. We'll blame it on them.
Yep.
Well, it's like people define supergroups. I guess I went as supergroup as just guys that have been in other bands coming in and forming one group.
Yeah.
I mean, some
Right, and
people,
sometimes for a special one-off, just something different, and then sometimes that it leads to the more in the future, or sometimes it just stays that was the one-off hit and that was it.
Or you have the bands that had so many super groups come through, or
Yeah.
like the Yardbirds with Clapton, Jeff Beck, Jimmy Page, and you look at all their, or like Buffalo Springfield with Crosby, Stills,
Yeah,
Nash.
and for me, that's not technically a super group. How I would perceive it as, it started out as, those guys weren't
Yeah, but
anybody
anybody
until
is-
that band came out, and then they started getting, becoming more famous
Right.
because of that
those
band.
bands that came
Yeah,
along.
yeah. And see, I looked at it differently.
But I still look at Crosby, Stills,
Yeah.
and Nash and Young as a super group,
And-
because
and
you had Buffalo
technically-
Springfield and you had the Birds.
Yeah, I mean,
So there were
technically
two
you
big
could say that,
groups,
yeah.
that came to join as one major band.
Well, before we even do this, why don't I just go ahead?
Why you got it?
Yeah, you got it up now.
So, like
You
you
got it
said,
up.
like you said, we did on Facebook, and some of the people that follows us on we have a Facebook group, Hops Metal page, Hops Metal Show page, or group. No, ain't no damn .com.
We have a
But
.com.
people just slowly come in and there's a lot of conversation on there, you
Yeah,
know.
that's-
It's getting to be people that watch this too also
Yeah,
are coming
that
in.
came in from YouTube.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Which, thank you.
yeah, appreciate that.
And we're gonna start off with Fred. It's where Fred come from. But he said, I'm damage plan, Fred Alberts. And Mike May had Sons of Apollo, which I think they're gonna get mentioned.
We'll talk about those later.
And John Page was upset because he said only one question mark. He said Sabbath.
See, he's
Well-
he's looking at it the other way.
Ronnie
Well,
James
unless he's
Dio
looking at
and
Dio's
Rainbow
version
and
coming
like
in.
Well,
Heaven
and see,
Hell.
yeah.
I had that written down, like the Heaven and Hell.
And to
the
see
Dio.
Tony Gamble had Rainbow,
Yep, see Rainbow.
with Dio
Rainbow had a lot of-
Blackmore.
Yeah.
Dave Rosenberger had Almanac,
I never heard of them.
and David Brannon had Velvet Revolver, Damn Yankees, Metal Allegiance.
Metal Allegiance. That was the one that I thought about putting down too, because that's got some good stuff on there.
And then
I don't
Keely Logan had The Damn Things.
And then I got that album. That was good. A little different. It's for the band members that are in it. It was a lot different than I thought it was going to be. Still pretty good, solid album.
And then Scott Weingart said, not sure if he counted, but he said Heaven and Hell.
Got the Heaven and Hell. So that all goes with that Ronnie James Dio.
And Randy
Rainbow.
Hartman brought up ESP, which I forgot about that. I wish I had that CD again. That's the Eric Singer project. That's got Krabby Kulik and Eric Singer. And I told him I'm not real familiar who played bass. And then
Comments?
Sonny Pooney put the Winery Dogs, which
Yeah.
has Richard Kotzen and Billy Sheen in.
Portnoy.
Yep. And then Jerry Lambert put Sepultura. And then
Yeah.
Corey Huffman had
Soulfly and Cavalier Conspiracy. Like
Badlands.
Max, Nail Bomb.
That'd be a Badlands.
Yeah,
Badlands was
we're-
written down there with the damn Yankees and Mr. Big stuff.
And then Curtis Fye come at the end with Down.
Down.
So
yeah.
it's hard to beat 'em.
You can't. Yeah, I mean, everybody's talking.
So I was kind of happy with that. We had a lot of people got involved with
yeah.
that. and
Definitely, thanks.
Cool. So guess we just gonna start off ours. We'll just do them one at a time.
Sure.
Works for me.
All right, my first one is Brides of Destruction.
All right.
Nikki Sixx and Tracy Guns. So everybody wants to know, I'm not saying this is the best supergroup you will ever hear, but as String knows, I was so happy to see this because it meant Nikki Sixx was going to play clubs. And that was going to be my shot to meet my hero. And I got to meet him.
We did that.
If it would have been for Brides of Destruction,
We would have gotten that.
there'd have been no meeting Nikki Sixx. So that was kind of where I'm at. And it's decent. I mean,
But Tracy wasn't on that show, was he?
yeah, he was there.
That's right.
He
yeah,
didn't come
yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
Nikki was
That's
the
right.
only one to come out and sign
Nikki was.
autographs.
Well, but then somebody else said they were all out there, but they were somewhere else where we
Yeah.
weren't, and we didn't know that.
Yeah, because we was on Nikki's side, which that's what I went there for.
Yeah, I was gonna say because you got the book and you wanted to get your book signed, and we,
Yeah.
we got you up there to get the book signed.
Yeah,
So
at the last minute.
yeah,
I
well,
got
almost
to
didn't
meet-
happen, but
I
yeah.
got to meet him, and it's decent. I mean, check it out. I mean, I'm not saying it's a horrible album, but that was strictly where I was at with this thinking. Was I got to meet Nikki Sixx, and this was the reason I got to meet Nikki Sixx.
Who else was in that? Was
Tracy and this Scott Coogan and that London Legrand. And I'm not sure who either of them was. It was Tracy Guns, and Nikki Sixx.
yeah.
That was the two bigger.
Yeah.
That was a two bit. That was a two super. I mean, they went on. I think they done another album with Krabby. That's where that's all weaves in.
That's where your story moves on.
Krabby was part of this, and Nikki Sixx and Krabby did Motley's '94 album. So, and so on and so on. But that was my first Brides of Destruction.
So I'm just doing some honorable mentions off the All-Star Sessions. It's the Roadrunner label. It's 54 band members. They were put into different captains, and they made their different bands from them. So you have like Slipknot, Trevium, whoever's on Roadrunner. And so you'll hear things from just a growl to
Depending on who was in the band.
whoever's
yeah.
in that band. So if you've never even heard or check that out.
Is any of that stuff on YouTube?
What did we do it on, Spotify or YouTube? I can't remember what we listened, but we
it's
listened
out
to it.
there.
Yeah, it's out there. We were listening to it at work. Also SOD, which some Stormtroopers Death, not System of the Down, with Scotty Ian and a dude from Nuclear
it's
Assault.
Charlie Bennett might be in that too.
I think so.
Or was that the MOD? Because there was MOD
there
and
was-
SOD.
Yeah, that might be where Charlie.
Yeah, I know he was in one of them too, but Scott Ian was definitely in both of them. But
Then I was thinking like the Highwaymen too, but that's not metal. But you got Johnny and
Oh, that
Willie and Chris Christopherson and Waylon.
It's
I
like
mean,
the Travel Wilbur.
yeah, there's
Yeah,
the Traveling
Traveling
Wilburys.
Wilburys.
When you brought that up the other night, I was like, wow, I
yeah,
didn't think of
that was
one.
that was a good album too.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
non-metal but good.
to start my third is going to be the Death of Andrew Woods, because from Mother Love Bone.
Okay.
If it wouldn't have been for him dying, we wouldn't have gotten Pearl Jam, Soundgarden. So some of the big supergroups out of that was Temple of the Dog and Mad Season when Lang left Alice in Chains, and you had some of the Screaming Trees and some of the Pearl Jams with Mad Season, and Temple was with Soundgarden. So those were my third as supergroups, was just the whole Seattle scenes, the different bands, just because of the death of one.
Well, and Andrew Wood. I mean, I love the song Stardog Champion.
It's a fucking awesome
Mother
song.
Love Bone. And really, I mean, I know if you watch his show, you would probably actually enjoy that album, because I know it's part of the Seattle movement, but it's got more of a.
They went to San Francisco with Alice in Chains. And
But
tried
yeah,
to do
it's
the
got more
thrash
of a
and
like
tried to
a.
do the whole scene
It
through
sounds more like metal than it does Nirvana.
there. Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
I think you, if you've never heard them, I think you would enjoy them.
They were really Mother Love Bone. I love Mother Love Bone. They were one of my favorites.
They were probably a little bit ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, because they were with the first scene with like the Melvins and the Lemonheads and the Slits and the.
But they don't sound nothing like.
Yeah, none of those,
Yeah.
because they went to San Francisco with Alice in Chains, and well, we know what happens there.
Well, yeah, and they're probably even a bridge between the hair metal and Alice in Chains. That's
Yeah.
probably what bridges them two together.
Yeah, yeah, and then you have later on with like the Screaming Trees, and as the third wave was coming on, and then you got Josh Holmes from there to go on with Queen of the Stone Age and Caius, and
There was I don't remember what the movie was. It was on Amazon.
Sequels?
No, it was.
That's a good movie, though.
It's like a documentary. It's on Amazon Prime or Amazon in general. I think you can go and watch it. And it talks about the desert scene, the music scene, and Caius. It's a lot of bands, like a lot of you never heard of, but it talks to all kinds of musicians that was part of that scene, and Josh Holmes is on there, and he's talking, and you get kind of the aspect of what they were going through, because they would go out in the middle of the desert and have like generators and
The
put on
desert
these
sessions.
yeah, and then they would
Yeah.
have like concerts out in the middle of the
Yeah.
desert, and it was kind of cool just to see how things evolved, because it kind of talked like how these bands and like I said, Josh Holmes was in there talking and about Caius and many other bands that
I'm
are
a
members and
I'm a
stuff.
huge fan of Josh. I mean,
Yeah.
and then you think he's married to Brody Dow with the Distillers. I mean, to me that's a power couple. But
So, yeah, well, I was just talking
Yeah.
about Josh there, so
Josh is
yeah. And I got into Caius back in the day, and then of course now you got Queens of the Stone Age, and I don't know. I guess the other guys might have went on to.
Well, then you also had like the offshoot of that with the Queen or the Eagles of Death Metal.
Yeah. What? Because Josh is in that too, wasn't he? Yeah.
He played drums with, and that lead singer is Jesse. They were friends from like high school.
So.
And you were talking about Mike May's song. Is that your first one?
No, I'm not. I'm going to go with Down.
Down.
I'm going with Down on my first one. I go big, go home.
It's fine, nailed it.
Yeah. I mean,
It's hard.
definitely not my first per se to come, the big super groups that I came across, but solid album. I mean, and you got Philip Anselmo, you got Pepper, you got Kirk, was it Weinstein? I can't remember what Todd's last name and Jim, but that's what my notes had. It was those guys, what their last names were, what bands that they were in. But after we was sitting here talking, this is getting more like early on, right before like Phil's kind of doing his own thing there for a while. So this is kind of like right at the beginning of when the Pantera thing was coming to a halt. But
sideways.
Yeah, but
The whole train was getting sideways.
and they've got what, one or two more after this one that they put out. I know it was a
They
while.
got that one that's got Ghosts of Mississippi on it. That's the second one. It's
Yeah.
just called Down to.
I think so.
It might be down to, or just like.
But I think they had a no one behind that one, didn't they?
I can't
I don't know
remember.
if they did or if they released one here recently.
Maybe. But see, he's got all those side projects and stuff. He's got,
Yeah, like
I saw-
Superjoint Ritual.
Yeah, Superjoint. I saw that on your list there. But and then God, I just saw Little Wing sent us a magazine that came out. I can't remember what the date was on it, but it was from this year, and it's got. And I was flipping through the book there. It was, I think it's Burn magazine. I think is what it was, and it's got an article in there. Of course, I can't read it, but it's all in Japanese. But it's got like, probably 7 or 8 guys in this band, and they're all dressed up in like suits and ties. And the cover of the CD that they show looks like it's, I don't know, kind of like an orchestra looking, like somebody, like a conductor or something of an orchestra.
And who is it?
It's Philip, and I don't know that I didn't recognize any of the other guys in this band, but it's like
Something disease.
no.
Because I heard something with Phil the other day that was.
Hang on. Y'all go ahead.
All right, well, you go on to your next one.
Go ahead and talk about what you hearing.
I can't. I heard something with new that was from Phil, but it was like something disease or plague.
It has
Something to that
a
effect.
very, very long title. I gotta find this towards the back, I thought. Duran Gray is in here.
Sure, there's a throat ripper.
Yeah, that dude's awesome. All right,
Yeah,
here
there
it
you
is.
go.
In minor. So the name of the album is When the Cold Truth Has Worn Its Miserable Welcome Out. That's a hell of a title for an album. But I mean, you look at that and they're all dressed up in like outfits here. I'll hold it up and let everybody else see it.
Well, you know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, I want to look this up and find out because like I'm kind of curious because this magazine 10/20/20, so it's
Corey's
very
on the front.
current. Yeah, so we got it's got a
Iron
couple
Maiden's
cool
in.
articles if I could only read it, but yeah, I was like, wow, what is this? Like I haven't even heard anybody talking about
I
it.
heard, like I said, I heard something the other day when we were on Liquid Metal. We were listening to it. It was something that Phil had done, and it was like I said.
Well, he's got so many freaking side projects.
I want to say it was something disease or plague or some to that effect. It was Phil.
Yeah.
It was Phil. You want to rock your second
Yeah,
one?
and while you're doing that, I'm gonna look
Might
up
as well.
something.
All
here.
right, so Slash. Everybody knows that who Slash is.
I think so.
I mean,
Who?
It's no big secret.
Who's this
He
Slash
wears a
guy
top
that you?
hat and has like a
Never
big
heard of
pile
him.
hair.
And he's got a Miles Kennedy on vocals, which Miles Kennedy's from damn it, it's with Tom Morello. Not Tom Morello. The dude from Creed. He sings for what the hell is the name of the band that Miles Kennedy sings for? It's all the Creed guys
yeah.
except for Scott Stapp.
I know who you're talking about now, and I
Yeah, you
can't
know
think
what
of
I'm about
it.
to-
You put me on the spot. I
If
can't
you
think
told
of
me the
it.
name, I'd be like, okay, but it's not one of those bands.
Yeah,
listen
I know
to.
who you. Everybody else is probably
Yeah,
screaming
they're
at us
probably
because
mad
we
at
have,
us right now
because we have brain
none of the
farts.
three of us can figure
Yeah.
out what it is, and everybody's going, "Oh, I know that." They even do the song called Blackbird. That's their big song. But anyway, it's Miles Kennedy, and actually it is Brent Fritz plays drums, and Brent Fritz actually plays drums for my third pick. But
I'm thinking
that was
Brett-
how they're tied in.
You're getting them all tied in
But yeah,
together.
they're all tied in together. But Slash, I mean,
Alter Bridge.
yeah, Alter Bridge.
See,
Hey, it's Alter
don't
Bridge.
scream at me no more. I got
Yeah, we got to take care of
And
it.
see, I thought you went with the whole Velvet Revolver, so you'd had Slash and Duff and
No.
Scott.
But we
So you tried to do a little twist, and so you went with another Slash.
it's Slash. I mean, I know the stuff with Miles Kennedy. He sang the GNR stuff on their induction, and he knocked it out of the park. I mean, if anybody's gonna cover Slash, Miles Kennedy's the man to do it.
And he even replaced Mark Wahlberg in
Yeah,
the movie,
even
the
in Rockstar.
Rockstar movie.
So, yeah, if y'all have never checked out Slash, I mean, go check out his solo stuff. Miles Kennedy don't sing in all of it because the earlier stuff, I'm not really in love with the first Slash solo CD, but everything after that I own. I think he's got the guy from, the band Fishbone maybe,
And Snake Pit, too.
I'm not in love with that first Snake Pit album, but everything else I own. So that's my second Supergroup Slash.
I had some other ones that I had written down was like Deep Purple and Blind Faith with Stephen Wood, Eric Clapton. I had Bloodbath written down. They popped up as a supergroup with Oteth and
Opeth.
yeah. I never
That's
said that
two,
right out.
yeah, two separate
Two
bands.
separate bands. Paradise Lost and Katiana. They're Swedish. They're really, yeah, wow, they're brutal. The Crooked Vultures and Foo Fighters, and then like we were saying earlier with like Badlands and Damn Yankees and Mr. Big. But my second one is going to be the Perfect Circle. Maynard from Tool, guitar player from Nine Inch Nails. That's who I'm going with as my second power one, just to have a little difference from what you all would maybe have.
Definitely different, but I kind of forgot about them. But yeah, they're definitely a super.
He was talking about Deep Purple. I mean, a lot of people even forget that Dave Coverdale was there for a little bit. I mean, God, everybody knows who Dave Coverdale
Well,
is.
you had a lot. I mean, they went through a pile of musicians too.
I didn't
in that
realize
band.
that Bad Company was considered a super group.
Yeah.
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 And then we said, I
Rogers.
thought for sure you'd had Audio Slave.
But no.
Yeah, you had to twist it up on it.
Yep.
I mean, there's so
Oh,
many
yes.
bands, and you got these like one-off, so it's kind of hard to.
Yeah, I mean, it could change tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's why I just wrote a whole shit ton.
Well,
Just
and
went from there.
for me, this was way easier to come up with than one of our other videos we're going to do here tonight.
Yeah,
So
I'm just going with two on that one.
yeah,
We'll find out
but
later.
yours are metal.
I know.
So,
Neither one of them are metal.
I know. Well, I mean, yeah.
But if
anyway,
it's for our own island, that's what I'm going to have.
well,
so
and
we'll talk about that.
yeah,
later.
we'll talk about that later.
This is what got it all started.
Yeah, so right here, Kill or Be Killed. And they got a new album coming out too,
Brutal.
and I can't wait. What I love about this, I
I
mean,
have to do a video.
yeah, we need to get, well, I let him borrow it, and I don't know if you listened to it yet or
I
not,
haven't
but,
been out to Moe's since
well, you're just gonna have to throw it down while you're driving to work.
Yeah. Work
It's-
faster.
It's for the members that you have in this band. You got Max Cavalera. I'm probably going to screw up his last name, but I've heard it tons of times on Liquid Metal because he's been on there. He's got a new album coming out. Greg Puchado.
Dillinger's Escape.
Yeah.
Plan.
So Dillinger's not around anymore. They split up, but so he's kind of doing some his own stuff. Plus, he did the new. Well, he's on this one and the new Kill or Be Killed. Troy Sanders from Mastodon and Dave Ellich, I think is how it's, I can't read, it's real small. I think it's Ellich.
Mars Volta.
I think it was, I'd never heard of that band.
Lead singer had a real high pitch like Geddy Lee.
Yeah,
They were all right.
Well, anyway, I hadn't heard it, but on the new one, Ben, I can't remember his last name right offhand, but
Converge.
yeah, he's with Converge and Mutoid Man, and I watched that 2 Minutes of Late Night, and he's been on He's like their house band, which is Mutoid Man.
Blast Beat Kings, man. Jesus God.
What?
Converge.
Oh, yeah. And I've only heard a little bit of their stuff, so I'm not real familiar with their stuff.
Man,
but
how your arms.
But that dude is the band, the new guy that's playing drums for him. He looks like Ozzy. Like, if you see him,
Okay.
he's an Ozzy. Like, but playing drums. I mean, you look at Ozzy, you know, back in the day, young Ozzy, and you look at this dude, they could be like brothers. I mean, they're that close.
I haven't listened to any of this yet because I was hoping maybe we would maybe get into them. But
What, Kill or Be Killed?
What I've heard is just what they've played
Well,
on liquid metal.
Yeah, and what I like about it, you got Max doing, he's got his, you know, grittier,
Yeah.
you know, not really a growl, but his type of vocal style. And you got Greg, he's all over the place, but on this, he's mostly more clean vocals.
Yeah.
He's got that little bit of a higher vocal range. And then Troy. So you got three guys in the band who are all singing, and they all have their own style, the way they sing. And it just blends together. And in each song, you might have each of them singing, you know, with different parts of the song, and it just blends so well together. I mean, it's good style. It's not like super heavy, aggressive music, and that's why I wanted you to listen to it, because it's not. I mean, you think
It's not too brutal.
yeah, it's not brutal. It's not. I mean, it's
Compared
not
to like
death
some
metal.
of these bands that
Yeah.
they've played.
Yeah,
in.
it's definitely not like death metal type stuff. I mean, but it's good, solid songs. I mean, the whole freaking album.
I wanna
This
listen to more of
this
it.
one came out in 2014, so it took them 6 years to put out the next one. So,
Right.
So, but yeah, definitely go check them out if
They
you
had
haven't
a
heard them.
second project, so.
Yeah. So, but then like I said, the only guy that changed.
I didn't know
was the
that.
drummer.
I didn't even know that they'd done one in 2014. That's the one from
That's
2014.
yeah, that's the first one.
Oh,
That's
okay.
all they have.
I,
This one
I
and
kind
the
of
new
figured
one.
when you said something a while ago, I was like, well, damn, have they made a couple albums together?
Just two. The new ones.
Just
Yeah, the new ones did.
I've heard off the new album,
Yeah.
obviously.
And I think
because
I've only heard. I think they've put maybe 2 songs out off of that album.
maybe something like
I
that.
can't remember, but I think I heard one, and that was it. Actually, they made a video for 2 different ones. I don't know if they've actually released them, but as far as like on the radio, but I know Liquid Metal had played one.
Yeah.
But I know they got 2 different videos out.
Okay.
So,
All right, so my last one is Union.
hey, that looks like it's autographed. I think we might have seen those guys back in the day.
Yeah, and I don't know, I'd say they qualify. John Krabby sang for the Crew, Bruce Kulick played for Kiss, Brent Fritz went on to play for Slash. I don't really,
The other guy, yeah,
Jamie Hunting,
yeah, I don't remember him.
I know we went and seen these guys at Jack's, and they were, we might even seen them twice.
I think we only seen them that one time.
Because we got them promo posters for the second album, because I still got it when we was down at Jackson.
You know what? I think they might have been at Ozfest or something. We got those or something, or maybe I don't know, because I know we went to Jackson a lot. Oh my damn, my nose is itching like crazy. But I know we went to Jackson a lot, and they used to get like posters, and like they used to have some of that stuff sitting on a table,
And maybe
you
that's
could
what
take
it
it, and we
was.
might have gotten that from that.
But I mean, I'd uploaded. Oh, this is what got me thinking about why I switched my whole lineup. But I listened to this thing the other day. I uploaded it on iTunes, and I forgot how good this thing is. I mean, The Pain Behind Your Eyes, Love I Don't Need It Anymore. That's an awesome song. But it's Krabby. I mean, I
Yeah.
told String Man, it's hard to, anything Krabby touches is great. I mean, any of y'all out there that listens to Krabby, Randy Hartman can tell you, Krabby is the freaking man. He's got just one of them
Yes.
voices. He's kind of like we was talking about John Bush. He's just got one of them voices that just sounds good in anything he touches.
And you know, when we saw them, I don't think there was a lot of people at that show.
No.
I mean, it was. I mean, they came out after the show and hung out and signed stuff, and I mean, it wasn't like they was behind a wall. They were out walking around. You just walk up to them and say, "Man, can I get a picture? Can I get this
I
autograph?"
remember asking Bruce Kulick, I said, you know, when I talked to him, I said, I was really shocked that John Krabby and Nikki wrote together. And he said, really, is it any different from me writing with Gene and Paul? I'm like, I guess not.
Yeah, you
Point
got it.
taken.
Point taken.
I was like, I really, no, there's no difference. So
Well put, well put.
I just, remember him always telling me that. That was kind of my Bruce Kulick experience, which was cool.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
My last one, you have it there, down. I was going
Well, it's
down.
over there now.
Over there.
Yeah.
But if you look at some of the other ones that were said through the Facebook section, you had gasoline, hell yeah, damage plan.
oh hell yeah, I know.
So, and then you look at what Phil had done with like Super Joint, with, Hank the Third and
Three.
Hank God. But
Yeah, that's, I think that other guy was from I Hate God. No, that was Kirk.
No, that was
Kirk was,
guys from down. It was.
yeah, but I think Kirk was also in I Hate God, David Ting too.
I think the drummer and the bass player maybe
Yeah.
are from I Hate God.
But another one that they also consider as a supergroup was Cream with Clapton and Ginger Baker. But I'm going down as my
Well, you
last.
look at the Yardbirds.
Yeah, the Yardbirds.
Everybody went through them. And yeah, I mean, there's no set plan, and you could sit here and everybody can name them all
Oh,
day
yeah.
long.
And name them. Put a bunch down.
Yeah,
Let's
so,
see some
because,
more.
I mean, we've touched on a ton. I got an honorable mention on after my third pick. But, I mean, there are so many we've
There's
probably
so
forgotten about, and then there's like,
I mean,
ones
you
we've
could
mentioned,
even-
obviously, but,
You could even mention the second round of Van Halen. I mean,
Oh.
Sammy Hagar was already established
Yeah.
yeah,
then.
yeah.
You know, I mean, yeah, it's endless. Funny Money. I mean,
Well, I'm gonna go with my third one, and me and Mike May are on the same page.
There it
Sons of
was.
Apollo. I mean, this is the super group of all super groups for me.
There.
I mean, you got
Yes.
Portnoy. That man has been in 300 freaking bands,
Probably
just
one
playing with everybody and,
yeah,
and
he's
doing
one
all
the best
kinds of stuff.
session- Probably one of the best
Well,
drummers
you-
out there right now.
All right, so just him and Billy Sheehan alone have been
Yeah,
in
Billy
what, 2,
Sheehan.
3, 4, 5 bands together. You got Jeff Scott Soto, you got Derek Shrinian. So Portnoy and Shrinian were together in Dream Theater, and you got Ron Bumblefoot.
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 GNR.
So, yep, he's most notably for GNR. Man, and these guys are phenomenal.
Yeah, that's Jeff Scott Soto.
Yeah, that dude is just.
And
And that dude's been in tons of
Yeah,
stuff.
I went and
mean,
looked.
you-
I know
you
when
go
I
look
went
at
and
his-
looked up them, I texted Trav. I said, "Dude, Jeff Scott Soto's been in a lot of
I mean, he's
stuff."
got his own band for one, but then he's, I
That
mean, you just,
Talisman.
yeah, I mean, you got, yeah, it's crazy. But if you haven't heard these guys, go listen to it, because it is
Yeah, it's
super great and stuff. And I think I had the opportunity to take a chance at going and seeing them. I never threw down the money to get the tickets, and I think I kind of kicking myself in the ass for not going, but I think other things kind of in life were happening, and I just like, maybe I'll catch them another time, and it just never happened. But so,
And your honorable mention.
so yeah, I got. I don't know that too many people might not have heard of this band, but Serpentine Dominion. So you got Adam D from Killswitch, and you got George Corpse Grinder Fisher, and Shannon Lucas on drums. Of course, Corpse Grinder's doing vocals, and so Adam D, he's that dude's crazy anyway. He's
That's
Cannibal Corpse.
Cannibal Corpse,
Mhm.
yeah.
So you got Adam D. He plays guitars, bass, and he sings on the album too. But it's more death metal, but it's still good. If you're more into the heavier shit, definitely go check them out. I mean, if you like Cannibal Corpse, you probably like this, but just because of the fact that Corpse Grinder's on it. But definitely a runner-up.
Didn't he just do something else? Or are they getting ready? Is Cannibal Corpse getting ready to put out something? I heard his name mentioned. the
I
other
don't
day.
know, and I think he's probably done some different side projects like this too. So I don't know. I mean, he might. I don't keep up with them a whole
Would
lot.
Gore be considered a supergroup? Or is it just because they had so many different band
I
members?
think they just because we really don't know who they are.
They are.
I mean, they just go by like those weird names that they got for themselves. But yeah, I mean, definitely put down in the comment section if we
Yeah, y'all's favorite song.
totally
I know
forgot
there's more
about
out
obvious.
there.
Yeah, I'm sure there's all kinds of
tons,
obvious
there's
ones we've
tons.
forgotten about. But yeah, and like obscure stuff that we probably never even heard of. Throw that down there. Let us know. I mean, what do you consider? I mean, do you consider like Cream and
Crosby, Stills, Nash.
Yeah, all those bands like that. I mean, I guess technically
even
they
like
were
this-
supergroups maybe before a
even like
supergroup was a thing, but
Black Sabbath after.
yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
know,
like I
I
said,
like that.
Deep Purple, Rainbow, I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
Heaven
the
and
list goes
Hell,
on.
like
yeah.
that whole, it's funny how some of them supergroups have their own little, like you're
Yeah,
saying, you got
lumps.
3 bands there all
Yeah,
together. and-
everything's all intertwined.
Yeah,
But yeah, throw some comments down there. Let us know if you agree with what some of the ones we picked, and
Or if you got a show idea,
yeah, we like to show
and
ideas.
if you want to see our opinion on, I don't know if
Category
anybody wants
some
our
sort.
opinion, but it's
Like
here.
assholes.
but that's
we
you know
like
that's
each one's-
and we say it all the time on here. You know, this is what we
Yeah.
enjoy. We enjoy
Yeah.
talking about music, and
And we
especially
know,
when we
yeah.
can get intertwine with the audience and get their input, and it's just what we enjoy doing. It's
Yeah.
just that's what drives us in life. So.
Just getting the clicker.
See,
Oh,
no,
we're at
we're
the
getting
35-minute mark,
we're getting
so-
long-winded again. So
I see
Like,
y'all.
subscribe, comments,
Yeah.
always.
good,
Stay
good
safe,
stuff.
stay strong.
Stay positive,
Stay,
happy.
stay warm.
Yeah, it's warm.
Thanks for hanging. I thought you was going to throw in something else.